So hello everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize for the absence of my boss Xavier who couldn't come this afternoon. So I'm standing in his shoes, and I'm Javier PEYRIERE, so the Deputy Managing Director of SeaOwl for the marine operations.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olivier Javier. I'm the HR Director of SeaOwl, and we are going to give you kind of a snapshot of what we do, who we are, and especially for the marine services and operations. So let's dive into who we are as a group.
So SeaOwl, we are a French company, okay, medium-sized. We're talking about 100 to 200 million a year in euros. 1,300 employees, okay. We work in 40 to 50 countries this year, and we have opened offices in more than 10 countries, the latest being Indonesia this year. We have a DNA that is very much on the marine side. Our number one, Xavier, used to be sailing on the different oceans in the world. There's some colleagues that are seafarers in the audience, and we have a specific attraction to technology. So basically, in a nutshell, we're a company of seafarers that is doing technology and bringing technological solutions. We have some services that...
Yeah, so our various services that we want to introduce today. So technical experts, so we are supplying technical experts to our customer, such as ROV pilots and marine supervisors and so on, that we'll discuss a bit later. We are owner and chartering vessels that we provide for our customers as well. We developed some surveillance services that we'll discuss as well, and we are really into remote operations, drones, as vessels that are developing right now.
And so the snapshot and the picture you have here is basically the latest development that we've signed together with ANOC in the Middle East, okay, the national oil company in Abu Dhabi, where they had a need of transporting on a daily basis equipment from shore to the artificial islands. And they contacted SeaOwl in order to be able to do that unmanned using the remote operation systems that we've developed earlier on.
So we didn't start it with remote operation systems. So let's see how we started.
So originally in 2011, SeaOwl as a company started operating two vessels, okay, 80 meters vessels, offshore the coast of France for the French Navy. Bringing some support to their operations. As with time, the operations grew. We started setting up our ISM, so International System for Safety, okay, and brought further vessels to our fleet. Two more in 2017, also for the French maritime authorities, and we started our first CTVs operations in the offshore wind in France in 2022, okay, and it's still ongoing. And we also started some guard vessel operations on some of the areas offshore France.
So parallelly, we've been supplying experts to our different customers, originally in the oil and gas industry, and more recently we've been moving to the renewable energies services sector, especially in France, and with last year more than 40 different people position filled.
So we talked about vessels, we talked about manpower supply. Let's talk a bit about the surveillance systems. In 2013, we implemented offshore Africa the first vessel monitoring and alarm system that we use in SeaOwl. Basically, there it was to monitor the possible intervention of asymmetric threats, so in that area, pirates. We've been developing the system, and very recently we started some operations offshore France with some of the customers here, okay, with different applications.
And finally, on our systems, on technological services and solutions, We've been on remote operated vessels. 3 years ago, we've got the first French navigation permit developed by the French authorities for an 80-meter long remotely automated vessel. And we are now having a full autonomous vessel, which is operating and will go offshore Africa in the coming months to full operations. And again, that we started remotely, we've got autonomous, and we have gone now as a project Javier talked about earlier with full range remotely vessels in the near futures. So how do we work with that? We've got in France about 170 people handling those operations, more than 120 seafarers. As we said, our DNA is seafarer technology, but a lot of seafarer based in our offices in Brest, La Seine-sur-Mer, so next to Toulon, Montpellier, Levallois, and of course, on board our vessels. As we said, we deliver services to our customers in energy and defense industries. And the services, again, expertise, vessels, technological.
So the people who we work with in the vessel services, so some of the known ones would be the French Navy, okay? Some examples of helicopter landing training. EMSA, which is the European Agency Against Pollution. Naval Group for testing. We've been working with the MRE site in Le Croisic for sport operations, but also, as we mentioned before, in the offshore wind together with RTE, with whom we're still working today with CTV operations. In terms of technical experts, some of the major operators here call us from time to time, so we've been working with EDF Renewables, okay, Siemens Gamesa, Orange Marine, Louis Dreyfus Travaux-Océan, and the likes, okay, and you'll see on the next slides that we cover roughly most of the projects where we are working on in France. And last but not least, in terms of technological solutions, we've implemented some of the monitoring system in the SEMREV offshore Le Croisic, but also on the Acta Auriga and Norman Fortress that are working for Siemens Gamesa. And we're still working on the autonomous vessels with Total Energy in other parts of the world. Where do we work? Basically in France, okay? On the 3 coasts, okay? So in terms of personnel, it's the orange stars, okay? You can see that we've been involved in most of the projects that are active now, okay? At our level, okay? With tens of people, okay? Also in the Atlantic coast and also in the Mediterranean. In terms of vessel, we spotted the most active harbors for us today and for this year in 2023. And again, you can see that we are active on the 3 sides, okay? English Channel and North Sea, Atlantic and Mediterranean. However, if we get deeper into the types of vessels we have, Olivier will go through that.
So, as I said, we have several types of vessels. We start with our most historical ones, which are HSCS. We've got 4 of them that we are owning and chartering, mostly for the French Navy, but also for industrials in France. We've got now recently, mostly in the EMR sector, of course, CTVs and guard vessels. And you see that we can also support development and activities in anti-pollution, anchoring, towing activities with our vessels.
Yeah, and what's the advantage of working with us today in France? As mentioned, you don't see it in the name, but SeaOwl is a French company. So with about 120 French seafarers, so French content is a big plus for the people who want local content. We also, when the projects are long enough, have the possibility to flag the vessels to a French flag, okay, which makes the operation smoother. And we implement our long-lasting ISM, which is our own internal system, okay, that follows the international rules. Okay. In terms of other services, we mentioned what we do in France. So VMAS, okay, which is the system to monitor. We mentioned in Le Croisic, we mentioned the two vessels where we've adapted it, and combined with, I would say, technical experts, because we also provide the marine supervisors, very competent seafarers there. In terms of tele operations, please come to our booth. You will see the little white and blue vessel. That is the Storm project, basically, that is being developed thanks to the help of BPI, okay, some fundings, and it is a research project to go to the next step in terms of autonomy and reliability offshore.
What we can add on our services on surveillance and safety is that we have a system, so VMAS, which is monitoring vessels on the field. But we can also today add monitoring on people on the field, and we can develop for more follow-up of birds and whatever would be in the field we want to follow, fishes and whatever that can be integrated in the system, so to provide a comprehensive solution based on the request and the needs. And for expertise, you can see there's not a comprehensive list of who we have in our network and which experts we can provide to our customers to bring very high-level solutions.
And just a quick comment, there's an OSS being built there. It's in Singapore. And thanks to our footprint, we could provide and help one of the North Sea actors, Ørsted, in the work and the commissioning of the plant. So, to summarize, basically, we are seafarers, and we can provide different types of vessels. Okay, AHTS being owned, CTVs, guard vessels. Depending on the needs, if you need to set buoys or so on, it could be multicats. Then we'll work on a bareboat type of contract with French seafarers. We have partners to provide SOVs in case of need. We provide technical experts also with a strong marine DNA, okay, marine supervision, client reps, and the likes. Not to forget our DNA that is marine, with a strong attraction to technology, and with the mad scientists we have down south in Toulon, we can tailor some solutions in terms of monitoring, tracking, and automating some of the systems to go to the services for now and beyond. And so, to summarize what we are seafarers, ship managers with a little tweak of technological gurus. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.